Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Better Thyself. Whatever you call it, there's a universal phenomenon which afflicts 99.9999% of the people. Sometime, rather many times, your confidence takes the consistency of jello. Sometimes you feel like a dandelion in a sea of orchids. You walk around the world like a moving ghost. Call it self-doubt, call it insecurity, call it inadequacy. That is all a part of the human psyche. And insecurity, a sense of insecurity, a sense of self-doubt, a sense of not being adequate, is not something unique to one individual, it's almost universal. Some people doubt themselves all the time, and that's a bad part. Others doubt sometimes. But we can all relate to insecurity as newly launched cryptocurrency. Insecurity even causes unique form of human amnesia. You may be stuck in the throes of insecurity. It's very hard to remember ever feeling confident when you're feeling insecure. Your memory becomes selective, and any sense of yourself having ever been strong, ever been self-assured, ever been capable disappears. Why does it happen? Is there no way out? Luckily, there are a lot of things we can do. Unfortunately, we don't do them. As a matter of fact, I identify certain do's and certain don'ts as a way to salvage our confidence. So let's first think what we should not do to become insecure. Normally, we are in the habit of psyching ourselves up with generic praise. And that percolates from the parents and the grandparents. You are going to be great. You are amazing. A child may not do anything great, but still you say you are going to be great. Wow, what an amazing thing you have done. I'm not against praising children. I'm against effusive praising. There has to be a certain restraint. Well, it's real good. It could be greater. So people always know that there is still something more to do. And when the parents and the teachers, if you are a bit better, they praise you to the skies. And your self-serving friends, they praise you. You develop an attitude of psyching yourself up. It's like a balloon getting air. And the generic phrases, if this is passive friend, your handwriting is extremely beautiful. Your cognitive skill, your reasoning is beyond any comparison. That's okay. But generic praise is bad. Wow, you're good. You're great. That is bad. So, you may not know it, but your brain is telling you that you are telling a lie. That what's being told to you is a lie. This is remarkably nerdy because it is. Think in the quantitative terms. If you do not believe in your self-assertion, at least 75% times is going to get worse. So self-assertion, self-praise, self-confidence should be based on actual realization. Your knowledge is incomparable, you should be proud of it. You are extremely beautiful, you should be proud of it, but it should be pure. Imagine an extremely stupid person thinking himself to be the replica of Socrates and Aristotle. He may say whatever he says, but inside he knows he's telling a lie. So any self-affirmation, if it's not followed by performance, lets down your motivation. And the result is insecurity. Second thing is, so you should avoid this. Second is, don't compare yourself to others. The biggest problem in the self-media, as the social media now is, that it leads to comparing. And when you start comparing, you feel lonely. The unfiltered up and down of the life. There are many things you do which have no meaning. Clipping coupons, waiting for the bus, picking up the dog poop from the yard. And when you compare that mundane activities of day to day with curated pictures of celebrities and not real celebrities, even your friends, you feel that you are not as good as they are. Your life is not as glamorous as theirs is. So, the accomplishment of others, real or imagined, exotic vacations they take, their clean children which they pose and put the pictures, they make you feel that you are not that good a person as your friend or any celebrity can be. No, forget the social media. The same thing happens in real life. Your worker at the office is extremely handsome and well-dressed. You are not. He has a brand new Land Rover, which you don't have. His wife is a beauty queen, which yours may not be. Her husband may be a Prince Charming, yours may be stodgy, middle-aged, pouchy husband. Then you feel bad. So social media is a highlight reel. It's not a real life. Same is your issue with your friends, neighbors, everybody. So your co-workers may have a body image problem. Your neighbor doesn't park his lovely marriage or unlovely marriage in the driveway. You see, what the people do is they hide the shortcomings and project the positive points. And you, when you compare, you don't know the reality. It might be shining apple from the outside, and inside there might be worms. You know your worms, but you don't know the worms of those personalities. And that makes you feel bad and feel more insecure. So do not compare, because you do not have the complete information on their lives. You can compare apple to apple, not an apple to an orange. Another reason is that comparison is linked to narcissism. You try to figure out where you stand in the pecking order. Some people versus others. Some are better, some are bad. So if you don't measure up, if by comparison you are not as good as they are, that makes you hopelessly inadequate. It can poison your relationships with resentment and envy. So not only you harm yourself, even that relationship, because of your envy and your resentment, may be harmed. So even if you are ahead in the comparison, that a conclusion that you are better or that you win makes you feel in a derogatory manner to the others. So the perceptions have changed. Best thing is, avoid comparisons. They are very tempting, but they are very unhealthy. Just as you try to keep junk food out of your diet, you don't eat junk food. You at least try not to eat it once. Same is comparison. Sometimes comparison would become automatically to your life, but avoid them as much as possible. So these are the true two don'ts. Don't compare and don't flatter yourself without any basis. So there are three do's now. So two don'ts and three do's. First is affirm your values. As a matter of, remind yourself who you are and what's important to you. Important to you may be family and the support they give you is real. Your religion may be foundation of your life. A sense of humor that you have may be exceptional. Affirming your real value as a knowledgeable person, as a speaker, as a writer, as a husband, as a wife, as a student, as a worker, is different than self-promotion. Rather than creating a powerful persona, important persona, when you affirm your values, you are taking a step backward and reminding yourself of who you are and what's important to you. This is the first step towards self-realization. So, to be clear, we are not talking about performance. An example of performance is, I'm a good student. But the real affirmation will be, I am good and will continue to be a student all my life. It shall be a lifelong process. So student's job is work, learning. So if it's a vocation, lifelong learning is a value. You are a religious person. You say, I'm charitable because I belong to X religion, and I'll continue to be charitable all my life. I'll be kind, decent human being. So affirm your values. Second is, remember your past. There would have been times in the past when you did something great. Think of a time your friend was in doldrums and you came to him and supported him. Think of a time when somebody lost a relation, a friend, and you consoled him, establishing empathy. That is important. Time was that when it was tempting to tell a lie, and still you did not tell a lie, you spoke the truth. So when you are feeling insecure, remember something good you have done. And everybody does something good sometime. So remember that, recollect it, let it come back to you, let it live inside you, and you would feel less insecure. You know, little threats, little dangers always pop out from behind every corner. But remembering that sometimes you are good and now also you will be good makes you much more stronger to face the insecurity. You see, each particular human being has something. There's always a corner which we have not penetrated. It is in our side, so we have got to bring it out. And then the third thing, as I told you, there are 5 things, 2 don'ts, 3 do's. So the third do is, do focus on being uniquely you. Too often when you are feeling insecure, you try to copy others. Don't copy others. Why emulate a person, a hero, and try to model your performance based on that? Because he is different than you are. By definition, human beings copy, imitate. But then when you imitate, you are a copy of the original. So instead of focusing on living up to the perceived standard, create your own standard. Be a unique person. For example, you are feeling insecure of hanging out with your friends. You might try to model your behavior after the friend who is more confident. But don't follow that. Focus on blazing your own trail. You have been spending a night out. You go home and try to make a lame excuse. Why not talk to your partner? Okay, yes, I'm late, but I wanted a time out. I wanted some space so that I can be more devoted to you. Distance sometimes lends charm. So I wanted space. So you're focusing on yourself as a loving partner. And that is what matters. Try to be yourself and try to be unique yourself. So, Fort Knox is supposed to be the most secure building, but still there can be some problem with the foundation. Insecurity is inevitable. It's a part of life. No place, no person is completely secure. Take it from me. A supermax prison can be insecure. A human being can be insecure. The strength lies in the weakest link. Identify the weakest link and then strengthen that by uniquely you. Your insecurities would vanish in thin air. Follow these don'ts and better thyself. Thank you.